Hi everyone, this is Ali Akbarian here, your resident road safety expert from Mobility Engineering. Back again for another Q&A. Thanks again for sending us in your questions. We love answering them. And thanks Erica. We also love you to hit that subscribe button that looks a little bit like this. If you see something like this down there, please hit that button. We want to get to 1,000 subscribers. We want your support on that, and hopefully that you get some value out of this channel as well, and give us some feedback as to what you think about the videos and all that. We love to hear it. So today's question is in regards to modified vehicles and unmodifying vehicles. It comes from one of our customers, Adam, and I'll read a brief part of it. I won't go into the whole sort of details of it, but basically he talks about his Mazda. They've had it modified a few years ago with a flip-up left foot accelerator. I'll put a link down below as to what a flip-up left foot accelerator is from our website, so you can get an idea of what they look like. But basically it's an accelerator that sits on the left-hand side of your foot area of your vehicle, and you would use your left foot to accelerate instead of your right foot. Now the flip-up one, what it does is it flips up out of the way and it flips down the right foot one. So for example, if you share the vehicle with a partner that uses their right foot, they can flip that down and flip up and flip down and so on. Now what Andrew's asking is, they're planning to sell their vehicle now, and they're asking what do they need to do? Do they need to remove it? Do they need to unmodify it and buy new pedals? Any advice or any help will help. So basically there is a few things you need to know about this, and it's a great question that you've asked, because there is a few regulatory things, but also a few sort of everyday things you need to think about as well. So I've got a few points here to think about. So first of all, in general, if you are going to sell it to someone that, well, if you're going to sell it within this industry to someone that has the same need as you, then and they're going to use the left foot accelerator, then that's fine. You just sell it to them and away you go. They don't need to do anything. You've got a certificate there for the vehicle. Yes, the certificate is in your name, but it doesn't matter because the certificate is for the vehicle. So you don't need to get it recertified. You just sell it to that person in that industry. However, from our experience, what we have found is within the modified vehicle industry and vehicles modified for disability or various needs, they're not very much sought after, and it's very difficult to sell the vehicles, and the modification significantly brings down the value of your vehicle. So if you want to get maximum bang for your buck, from what we've understood, it's better to bring it to standard and sell it off as a standard vehicle. You've got a lot more customers you can sell to, and that's basically what we found. So when you are going to sell it, then you do need to de-modify it. That is definitely a regulation here, because it has been modified for the specific purpose of that driver, and it needs to then be de-modified. And it is also a potential danger as well, because if someone gets in that vehicle and they don't know what it is, they start playing around with it, they could get themselves into a bit of a sticky situation. And there actually has been a situation where someone has died by accidentally pushing the left foot accelerator and running over someone in reverse because they thought that was the brakes. So you do not want to have potential situations like that. So that's a very important safety factor, but also within the vehicle regulation side of things, if you are selling the vehicle, which is what they call disposing of the vehicle here, if you are disposing of that vehicle to somebody else, it must be disposed of in that standard form. And normally your certificate will also say something like that down the bottom, right? So when you are doing that and you're returning it to standard, it is a good idea to get someone like us or one of our dealers, which you can link on our website. I'll put a link down there to our dealers. You can go up to them and they can de-install it for you. They can pull it out, plug any holes there, and away they go. They will remove the left foot accelerator. In your particular case, remove the left foot accelerator, and the right foot accelerator, the flip up part can't be there anymore. So what I would probably recommend would be the cheapest option is, if it was me, to be honest, and you'd have to check this with the people that are modifying it, and also the engineers that are going to sign off on it. But if it was me, I'm one of the engineers that signs off on this, I would be okay with the hinges basically being locked. So you can't have the right foot standard accelerator hinging up and down. That's pretty dangerous and it's not compliant. But if you lock that existing hinge, then that's fine. The hinge is strong enough. We've got test reports around it. They all are done by the European standards, which is the highest standards in the world, and Australian standards accept that European standard. So all good. So yeah, that's one thing you can do. But as I said before, the other thing you need to know is when you bring it back to standard, you then have to go and get another engineer certificate or compliance certificate, and depending on what they call it in your state, or go to your local road authority and get it certified so it's back to standard. So it sounds a bit silly, but that's basically the rules and regulations here. So when you certify it to a modified vehicle, you also have to go and see that an engineer doesn't have to be the same one to certify it back to standard. And what they're going to do is they're going to look at all the modifications that have been taken out, look at the existing vehicle and make sure that it's still compliant and still structurally sound. Now in your Mazda 3, as I said, from my experience, it's going to be a pretty straightforward certification. You'll only have a couple of holes in the floor from where it was bolted in. That's even if it was bolted in like that. And all that would happen, you just plug those holes up and away you go. And depending on, like if you were to get a new pedal, for example, they're actually not that expensive anyway. They can, depending on where you get them from, you know, and where it comes from. We bought pedals here for about $250. So in the scheme of things, maybe in the price of your vehicle, $250 may not be that much, and you might want to go, you know what, I'll just put a standard pedal back on there, I'll go to Mazda and buy the pedal and put it on. These days, they're pretty easy because they're little electronic pedals, so it's basically just an unbolt and rebolt back on and just plug and plug in. So you don't have to do any cables or anything like that, it's pretty straightforward. So yeah, you might feel that you want to sell your vehicle with that pedal there, because some people, when they come to look at the vehicle to buy it, they might be thrown off by that. Even though you've locked the hinge and you say, no, it's safe, and here's an engineer certificate, say it's okay, you might find some customers go, oh no, I don't really want that, you know, I'm uncomfortable. So if you find that's the case, no problems, you can just go and get a standard pedal and put it on and away you go. So yeah, as I said, that's pretty much everything. So the tips are, first of all, when you dispose the vehicle, you get rid of it, you've got to unmodify it. So you've got to take it back to standard. That's the first thing. Second thing, when you take it back to standard, is you must get it certified by an engineer, certified compliance certificate or something, whatever is relevant to your state. Check with your local road authorities. And as I said, finally, the last tip is, in general, you do get better resale value for unmodified vehicles purely because you have a larger market to deal with, so and more buyers. So thanks very much for that. Hopefully that answers your questions and gives you some points. And as I said before, thanks again. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button that looks like that. We'd love you on our channel. And as we said before, we love the questions. Keep them coming. They're coming in all the time, but keep them all coming. We will find the answers and we will get them up for you and yeah, go away from there. So thanks very much and see you next time.